Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about explosions in the sky. Now, God, dude, I don't even know how I'm supposed to put these albums in order, but I took it upon myself to try my best. Because frankly, none of these albums are better or worse than the other ones. Every single one of these is just this unique experience that hits every single time. No matter what you listen to, they're all great. So, trying to put these in some kind of order from least favorite to favorite is, I made this meme. Take a look at this. This is pretty much how I felt trying to put this list together. It's like, man. But, I found a way. I guess. But yeah, man, if you've fucking watched any movie, chances are they put an Explosions song somewhere in there. Because these guys have been in so many shows and movies, it's ridiculous. And including making their own soundtracks. Most notably, what was it called? Lone Survivor, which is the first time I heard them. So, that's pretty cool. And I will not be including the soundtracks on this ranking just because I honestly don't have them all. The only one I have is Big Bend over here, which I was going to do them when this came out, but this one is so vastly different from the actual studio albums just because those are all these long pieces that just gradually build, and this one is comprised of a shit ton of shorter songs, and Nightfall is easily the best one. Don't even fight me on that. Cubs was really good too, but yeah, it's all about Nightfall on this one. So anyway, let's get started with this, shall we? So last place is unfortunately gonna have to go to Take Care. And honestly, if we were ranking packaging, this one would be pretty high up because, like, man, just like, what the hell even is this? It even has a postcard from 1952, which is pretty neat. So the album, it opens with the Last Known Surroundings, and immediately it gives me chills because that's what this band does best. But I think they knew that Postcard from 1952 is definitely the main standout, which is why they included an actual postcard. But those songs, Human Qualities, Trembling Hands, Be Comfortable Creature, I'm not super crazy on. This one just has the least amount of standout songs. Just those two, Last Known Surroundings and Postcard. And that's why it's in last place, but man, seriously, it's still really good, and fuck, I can easily have this at like number 3. If catch me in a different mood, this could be in a different spot. And I did re-listen to this band because I had my list from a year ago, and then I re-listened to it from bottom to top to see if my list was still the same. And it is not. There were some pretty drastic changes for a couple of these albums. Like this one. This one actually got bumped down one. This was at my number 6. But then upon hearing what I thought was in last, I was like, nah, that one's a little better than this one, I think. But yeah, still really solid stuff. So yeah, Wilderness got a bump up. It was in my last spot, but there were a couple parts where it bumped it up a little bit, and green for Wilderness because trees. So the reason it was originally in last place is just for like those super ambient stuff, like Losing Light and the beginning of Logic of a Dream. I'm not like super into, but I thought Logic Formations was a pretty solid song. There's just constantly building, which they always do. You're gonna hear me say this a lot, but they're constantly building in the songs, and then it has lots of chugging along, but also I think the drum tom thing going on in Logic of a Dream, like in the first half, is pretty cool. And then distant oh my god, I can't say this word. I can't say this word. Disintegration. Why can't I say disintegration? Disintegration anxiety. My god. The opening riff is super memorable. Like that's the main reason that this album actually bumped above Postcard, is because I really like disintegration anxiety. Wow. The hardest word ever to say. But yeah, like Take Care, this one doesn't have as many climactic moments as other albums, which is why these two are rather lower. But yeah, moving on into the biggest drastic change that was made upon my second re-listen. Because yeah, The Rescue was actually at my number 2, the first draft. But yeah, it kind of dropped a little hard. But the main reason I think I had it at number 2 is because I think this one, unlike other ones where they have these like big climactic moments and then it goes, down to chill, it's just kind of like a roller coaster basically. But I think The Rescue pretty much stays at 50 the whole time. Like, Day 2 has some really cool background vocals that really adds to it. And unfortunately, Day 3 is full of those spoken word parts, which I never cared for too much. And it just kind of drags and it goes on. And Day 3 is actually the only Explosion song that I do not like. And I know why they're there. I know what they're talking about. And I get the symbolism. I know why they're there. But that doesn't mean I have to like it. And then Day 5 has a really cool drum pattern going on. And yeah, this one is very unique in their catalog. Like I said, it's just a lot more constant moving. Not like too many climactic moments, but not too many lulls either. And that's basically why I have it here, just because it just keeps going in that same vein, whereas all the other albums above it just go like to these great heights. And I just don't think The Rescue really goes up to that point. Sorry, Rick. And now one of the longest album titles I ever heard. Those who tell the truth shall die, and those who tell the truth shall live forever. I think I got that right, yeah. Just a whole sentence for an album. We got Moon is Down with that constant building, and then the snare pattern that's stopping and going just has a great pace for it. Have You Passed goes super hard at the end, which a lot of songs do, but this one especially. And the beginning of it also has spoken word, but honestly, this one works so much better for me. Probably because it ends really, really strong. But despite that, I think Poor Man's Memory goes even harder in the finale. And yeah, because those two songs, that's what I'm talking about. Like, just the extreme climactic endings that they're just so goddamn good at. Pretty much places this album at number 4 for me. Alright, leads us into their debut, How Strange Innocence. A Song for Our Fathers hits me kind of hard, not gonna lie. But then we have Magic Hours, which has a fantastic gradual build where we have the drums going ham, but the guitars remain super chill. And then, of course, we hit that climactic moment. I might start a counter in this video for how many times I say that. But yeah, everything goes all in. Excellent song. Glittering Blackness, again, just the drum pattern really makes that one for me. And then just then we have this album's saving grace, which is Time Stops. I mean, it's like 2 riffs for most of it, but goddamn, by the end of it, it gets super emotional. And if I was a crier, I would definitely be in tears in Time Stops. Probably like easy top 5 best Explosion songs right there. But yeah, man, solid, excellent debut record, and just really solid. And then this next one also had a pretty dramatic shift. With All of a Sudden, I Miss Everyone being our runner-up. I think this one was at like 4 or 5 originally, but then, man, just going back through it, I mean, every single song on here has at least one phenomenal moment on it. It's Natural to Be Afraid, another one of my all-time favorite songs. Welcome Ghost, also great. In What Do You Do to Go Home, the piano part that's coming in between the clean riff is just straight beautiful. Catastrophe and The Cure, macho finish. So Long Lonesome, just more greatness. Like, at this point, I don't have much to say about these albums, just because, like, if you heard it, you know. You just know already, and it's hard to describe without saying the exact same thing over and over again, with these, just the builds and the climaxes and just the great drum patterns. Everyone's just killing it all throughout this album. And I'm really glad I went back through them again, because if I had this at like 4, looking back, I would have been pretty upset. But that leads us into number 1. And if you were paying attention, you probably would have noticed I left a certain album off that meme I showed you earlier. And yes, that's also because there aren't enough dragon heads, so I didn't have enough room. That's why I plopped The Rescue on the body. But going into this ranking, I knew that there is only one option for number 1. An album that, frankly, I can barely listen to anymore. And of course that album is The Earth Is Not a Cold, Dead Place. This is actually the first vinyl that I got. Yeah, this is where it started. Just from the moment it starts, man, just instant chills with this album. Like, it just defaults its way to the number 1 spot, because there is no other album on this planet or any other planet that I've ever heard or ever will hear that is going to make me feel the way that this goddamn album does. I don't even have anything to say on the individual songs. It's just one of those things where it can't be anything else. It just can't. I mean, the closing track, Your Hand in Mine, has been featured in so many things. Most notably, a little movie called The King of Staten Island, which happens to be my favorite movie from 2020. And they pop that shit in that song during this super emotional moment. And just what this band does so well, it hits that note in you. I don't even know what to say at this point anymore, man. It's just like, we don't got to get too personal over here, but let's just say that shit went down during this album, and I can never forget it. So that's why it's at number 1. Always be at number 1. Had it not had this like great like personal effect on me, it'd probably be like number 3 or 4. But the fact is that this album is just, it can't be touched. But that is going to do it for my thoughts on Explosions in the Sky. Be sure to let me know what your favorites are, because they're all really, really good. But yeah, here's to hoping that they put out a normal studio album sometime soon, rather than just another soundtrack. But yeah, I don't know what I'm doing next, like usual, but I'll figure it out. So until then, go watch King of Staten Island. Oh my god, it's such a good movie. Pete Davidson, Bill Burr, phenomenal actors. That shit's in it, and that's how you know it's good. Just go watch it, man. I'm out.